Well, here are the groceries that I picked up today at Aldi. I spent a total of $104.46. And so basically I want to do some once a month cooking. I'm going to do that tomorrow, but tonight I am going to prep a little bit so that I'm ready. I'm going to be making 30 meals, and I realized I did forget the ricotta cheese, so I'm going to have to go back and get some of that at the store. So anyway, I'm going to make 2 lasagnas, a couple of platters of enchiladas, some chicken tacos and some taco salads, some barbecued thighs, and some homemade vegetable soup. And I'm also going to be doing a couple of quiches. So tonight I'm going to prep by cooking up the ground beef. I have some sausage links that I like to just cook up ahead of time for my grandson. And then I am going to cook my, I have some lean ground turkey. I'm going to cook that up tonight. And then I'll probably chop the different vegetables for the soup. I like to kind of flash freeze those so they're all ready. But just to give you an idea, I do have some bagels, some bread, a couple boxes of cereal. I do like these little vegan meat-free patties. They're kind of good for a quick meal. I got some strawberries, bananas, some mushrooms for the quiche, some corn tortillas. I got all of the things for the lasagna. I got some pomegranate acai, watermelon drinks, some mini chocolate chips for some pumpkin bread that I'm going to be making this week, some taco seasonings and cheeses, and again, some chicken thighs, and then a couple goodies for my grandson when he comes over, some gushers and apple juice, you know how it goes. So this is what I plan on doing tonight and tomorrow. I'm going to prep tonight with a couple of things, and then tomorrow I'll actually put everything together for you. Well, we got a lot of things done for our prep last night for our once a month cooking. I got all of the ground turkey cooked. I got the ground beef cooked. I got all the vegetables cut up and frozen. I'm going to show you how I put everything together. But right now, as I said in an earlier video, I did forget my ricotta cheese for the lasagna, so I'm going to have to run up to the store. But before I do, I wanted to, again, save a little bit of time. I'm going to put some chicken breasts in the Instant Pot. Move this down so you can see it a little bit better. I'm going to put some chicken in the Instant Pot. And I'm going to add a little bit of garlic. A little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. I'm actually going to put a couple chicken bouillon cubes in because I want to get some liquid for some of the soups that I'm going to be putting together. I have a beef and a chicken soup that I'm going to be putting all of the vegetables together, so I thought this would be a nice way to get some broth, and I don't have any chicken bones, so this is going to be my substitute. So I'm going to add some water for the broth. And that's it. I'm just going to put the lid on. Set it to seal. And then I'm going to set it for, I think, 15 minutes. I want to have it a little bit more done because I want the chicken to be nice and tender. So I will see you when I get back in about 20 minutes, and we'll go from there. Take care. Here I've creamed together 4 eggs, 1 cup of oil, and 3 cups of sugar in my KitchenAid blender. So I'm going to be adding a teaspoon of cinnamon, a teaspoon of nutmeg, 1.5 teaspoons of salt, 2 teaspoons of baking soda, soda and 3.5 cups of flour. Then I'll add 3/4 cup of water. And what I do, this is a pumpkin bread I'm making, and I make it out of my sugar pie pumpkins. I roast those. I grow them in my garden and I roast them. I measure out 3.5 cups and then I freeze them. So I can have this delicious pumpkin bread whenever I want it. And then I just add some mini chocolate chips to them, and it makes a really delicious, you know, bread. So I make it in small little loaves, and it's a lot of, it's a really good thing to freeze and to have available whenever you want something sweet. It's very tasty. So I'm going to be adding 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. This is ground cinnamon. And I'm going to be adding a teaspoon, or actually, I guess it's a teaspoon of nutmeg. And I know fresh nutmeg is better, but this is what I have on hand today. It requires 1.5 teaspoons of salt. I have the real salt that I buy, and then I also have this Himalayan pink salt. So I switch off. I use both of them. They both work pretty good. For baking, I usually use this pink salt. And then I'm going to use a little bit of soda, 2 teaspoons. And then I'm going to add my flour. I'm just going to add the 1, 2, 3. I'm just going to use this and measure out 1/2. Alrighty. So I get this all mixed up. And then I'll add, very last thing, I'll add the pumpkin and the chocolate chips. Now I'm going to be adding the pumpkin. This is what the mix looks like before you add the pumpkin. And so all I'm going to do is just pour this right in. It's a lot of pumpkin, but like I said, I pre-measure it after I roast it, and this has been roasted. I guess I dipped that a little bit in the mix. Oops. And then I go ahead and I use the mini chocolate chips. If you use the regular chocolate chips, they're all going to sink to the bottom when you bake them. So you're better off just to take the mini chocolate chips, and you could use nuts if you like, but I really like the chocolate chips, so that's what I use. And I'm just going to finish mixing this up. And plus the mini chocolate chips really mix up just fine in the blender. So as soon as I get this put together, I'm gonna let it mix for a few minutes. I'm gonna turn it up just a hair. Then I'm gonna go ahead and put it in my tins and start baking it. And I'll show you what it looks like as soon as we get it put into the little tins. So I invested in some of these little loaf pans a couple of years ago, and they really paid for themselves. They're wonderful. So basically all I'm going to do is take the mixture, the pumpkin mixture, and I'm just going to put that right into these little loaf pans. I've kind of sprayed them with some cooking spray. I fill them up about 3/4 of the way full. And these are, other than the sugar, there is quite a bit of sugar in these, but there's a lot of pumpkin. There's a lot of fiber in them, and these are those sweet pumpkins, the sugar pie pumpkins. They're very good. They, like I said, I cut them in half. I take the seeds out, and I basically roast them in my oven until I can take all the inside of them out. And I pre-freeze them, and I can have them throughout the year. I usually grow about 20 or 30 of them each season. This year, in addition to the sugar pie pumpkins, I'm also doing the Cinderella pumpkins. So that should be kind of fun. And these are kind of cute. These are like a little bunt pan, the little mini bunt, which, you know, come out so cute. I'm gonna mess here. And it's actually kind of a heavy duty bread. It's much denser than a zucchini bread, and it's really one of my favorites. I actually make quite a bit of this at Christmas and give them out as gifts, and everybody seems to like these. All right, I'm gonna get them in the oven, and I'll come back and show you what it looks like as soon as I'm ready to package everything up. So these are all the waffles that I just made. I made a couple of cute little llama ones for the grandbaby, and so I know he'll really enjoy those. You can see them, they're so cute. It's just some Belgian waffles. So I'm gonna freeze those. I took care of cooking the sausages to freeze. Those are already in the freezer from last night. So he's got breakfast for the next couple of days. I've got all of the pumpkin breads cooking inside of the oven, and I've also got a little Breville oven up here that I really love, and so I did some little cupcake tins. So those will be ready pretty quickly. I just wanted to show you what I have, and then the next thing that we're going to get going with is the soups. So we'll do that now. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do is put our soups together. I've already put some black beans in both of the bags because I can my own beans and I wanted to rinse them. So in the chicken one, I've already got my chicken broth put in some bags. I'm gonna freeze those separate because I need them to fit in either the crock pot or the Instant Pot. So all I'm gonna do is take a handful of chicken. I'm gonna save the rest for my enchiladas. I'm gonna take some onions, which I've already cut up last night. I actually did a lot of these vegetables ahead of time. I'm gonna take some celery. I've got some celery that's all cut up. I'm gonna take half of that bag. I'm gonna take half of these mushrooms and some green beans. Some carrots. These were all frozen, so I'm just gonna kind of tear them apart. Thank you. And then I'm gonna do half of my cabbage. And I use a lot of cabbage because it just has so much flavor. And that's it. I'm gonna freeze it like that. I think that's about the right amount for the next one. And then when I'm ready to have the meal, then all I'm gonna do is take this bag out of the freezer and it's ready to go. I'll just add the broth to it and that'll be all we'll need to do. Either put it in the Instant Pot or in the in your crock pot. The next one that we're gonna do is our beef soup. Where did I put that bag? Here it is. So this one I actually made up. I had some taco salad, some ground beef from some taco salad a couple weeks ago. I froze it, so all I'm gonna do is throw it in the bag. Like so. I'm gonna put some of the onions. Now the rest of my onions will be used for my enchiladas and my lasagna. In goes the celery. Actually, I'm going to put all the rest of these vegetables in. See if I can maneuver it a little easier with this paper without making too big of a mess. Now I'm not going to season anything until the day that I put these in the crock pot or the Instant Pot. And I'll have some beef broth by then too. So this is your beef soup and your chicken soup. So the first enchiladas I'm going to make are the chicken enchiladas. I don't put my tortillas in oil. I don't fry them up. All I do is put them in a wet paper towel and I put it inside of the microwave for about a minute so that they're pliable. And I put all my ingredients out and I'm ready to go. So I'm just going to put a little bit of chicken, a little bit of cheese, a little onion, and all I do is just roll them up and put them in the container like so. This works good if you're trying to lose weight and you don't want to, you know, have a lot of oil and that kind of thing. I think this always works kind of good. So all we're going to do is roll them up. And that's it. It's a pretty easy process. I'll do a couple more for you. These ones are the chicken ones, and then I've got the beef ones I'm going to do next. And they're very easy. Just takes a couple of minutes of prep, and these store really good in the freezer. So let me finish putting these chicken ones together, and then we'll roll up a couple of the beef ones. So this batch made 8 enchiladas. I'm just going to pour a little bit more of the red sauce over, like so. And then I'm going to put some olives on top, like so. We like olives. And then I'm just going to put some cheddar cheese on top. And like I said, these store really well in the freezer. So let me get the beef ones started, and then I'll be back. So now we're going to be making the beef enchiladas. So these are exactly the same. We're just going to be putting a little bit of beef in. Now remember, I already added onions to this ground beef when I cooked them. And so we will just, I've got a little bit of onions left, not much, but I have enough for these. So these are really my favorite. I love enchiladas. I could eat them every day. And they just make such a good dinner with, you know, a nice big green salad or some refried beans or what have you. I mean, it's pretty delicious. And I think if you don't fry the tortillas, it's much more healthy. So this is just one of the other enchilada meals that I make, and I'll show you the product as soon as we're done. Okay, these are my beef and chicken enchiladas. I've got these all ready for the freezer. So all I'm going to do is put my foil on. As you can see, I've written the instructions down. Not sure if you can see that, but I'll show you just as soon as I get this put together. This is the chicken one. And then just for some added, you know, strength, just to keep everything really fresh, I like to put some plastic over it as well. So I just put the plastic over both ways. And that seems to work really good. So that is the first one, like so. And this one is the second one. So these are the beef and chicken enchiladas. As you can see, they are ready to put in the freezer. Well, before I do anything else today, I think it's important that I focus on getting this kitchen cleaned up before I move on to something else. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Look at this mess. Wait a minute. Oh my goodness. This is a disaster area. Look at all these dirty dishes. All right, well, just like magic, it'll be cleaned up in a snap. Well, this is the end of a really long day of cooking, but I did want to show you one of the lasagnas we're having for dinner. I actually plated it up for you. And everything smells so good. This is what it looks like cooked, and can't wait to try it. Well, here's the inside of my freezer, and I just wanted to show you all the things that I was able to put together. I got a beef and a chicken lasagna. I got a beef and chicken vegetable soup. I got enchiladas. The other day I actually made these cornflake chickens. I kind of pre-froze them. All you have to do is throw them in the oven. I also got some taco meat for some taco salads this week. And I got some extra chicken and beef mix that I can use later. And then I know it's kind of cheating, but I do buy the pre-made pie crust. I'm gonna have a quiche later this week. I've got everything all chopped up and ready to go for that. And then of course I did a huge baking of the pumpkin chocolate chip muffins, loaves, and those came out really, really good. So overall, I think it was a really good day. I got a lot of things put together for really the next couple of weeks. I don't have to really think about cooking, and it was a lot of fun. So thanks a lot for joining me with this cooking day, this once a month cooking day. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed myself, and I love having food now in my freezer to last throughout the month. So I hope if you're interested, I'm going to put the recipes down below. You feel free to give it a try. I think you'll see it saves a lot of time, a lot of money. You're not going out to fast food or restaurants because you have your food done ahead of time. So give me a thumbs up if you like this video, and subscribe if you're not a subscriber. And thank you again for watching. Have a great day. Bye-bye.